say a man leaves when the breath goes quiet, but some voices never learn how to do that. Some voices just step back from the mic and let the crowd carry the song. Bob never told us where to go, he just showed us how to walk. Loose hands on the strings, eyes on the horizon, smiling like he knew there was no wrong turn if you stayed kind. Forever grateful, forever free. You left the road, but you stayed with me. I learned time doesn't move in straight lines. Standing in a field full of strangers who somehow felt like family. No tickets to heaven, no backstage pass to truth, just a rhythm, a chorus, and a chance to let go of whatever weighed you down that day. Bob sang like he trusted the song to land where it needed to. No rush, no finish line, just another verse waiting its turn. Forever grateful, forever kind. You taught us time is just a state of mind. Some men chase perfection, Bob chased connection between the notes, between the people, between who we were and who we might become if we listened a little longer. He sang of cowboys, saints, sinners, fools, not to judge them, but to remind us we've been all of them at least once. If there's a stage on the other side, I know the lights are low and warm, and the song's still finding its way back home. Take it easy, take it slow. Every road still lets you go. Forever grateful, forever true. This long, strange trip still walks with you. If the music fades from human ears, it lives in love, it lives in years. For the songs, Bob, we'll take it from here.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Let's get some background going. Everybody okay this morning? It's cold here. I don't know about where y'all are at. All right. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It is 5 a.m. on Monday morning. That's 5 a.m. Eastern time, Monday morning, East Coast. On the 12th day of January. My goodness, time has slipped on by us, hadn't it? I hope everybody had a good weekend. My name is Bubba. Well, they call me Scott sometimes. Let me get that turned down a little bit. Welcome to a brand new week. Another chance to show up, do good work, and prove what you're made of. Every Monday morning is a reset button. New opportunities, new challenges, and a new chance to show pride in your work and belief in your potential for leadership. So let's go ahead and do a roll call. Where are you headed today? What's your trade? What trade are you working in? And who are you rolling with? You got your co-workers in the truck? You a solo roller going that way? You had your coffee yet? Been by the QT or racetrack? And oh Lord, my coffee's making me. Anyway, whether you're listening live or on the replay, you're a part of this crew. You know, leadership, it doesn't wait for permission. It shows up early and stays engaged. Just kind of think of it like this. Every job is a stage. The question is whether you're performing or just showing up. Well, let me know how you're doing this morning. Let me know where. Hey, give me an idea what you think. A couple housekeeping notes. The intro song this morning, I created that as a tribute to the late Bob Weir. He passed away on Saturday, and if you don't know who Bob Weir is, he was associated with the band Grateful Dead, which I was a big fan of, and they were I don't know, I guess the best way to call them an electrified folk band. Early rock and rollers. Bob Weir, Jerry Garcia were the front men. You had Phil Leach and a couple others. Anyway, they had a big influence on my life, and I just put that song together, and I'm going to leave this up here today, this little title card, as a tribute to Bob Weir. Anyway, next thing is I put up this funky background here. Y'all let me know what you think about that. I've got the studio behind me. This is a green screen contraption. Let me know how it looks. Is it pleasing to the eyes, or would you rather go back to the old scene? Or let me know what your thoughts are on that. But anyway, that's just a little bit of housekeeping. I'm glad we got that out of the way. Phrase of the week. Let's think about this. Pride and potential. Pride and potential, and this is your pride. Pride is caring about what you do, even when nobody's watching. And potential is knowing you're capable of more than yesterday. Pride shows in things like how you wear your PPE. Are you a slouch? Do you wear your PPE with pride? Is your vest on? Is it straight? Is it clean? Is your hard hat turned the right direction? Are your safety glasses worn in a proper way? Do you have gloves on? Are you looking the part of a professional? And pride also shows in how you set up your tools. Job setup, and you take your time, or you just being a slop about it because you think you're in some kind of hurry, and or do you take the time and do a proper setup for your work? And then again, how you leave the site at the end of the day. How you leave the site, man, that is so important. It's like making your bed in the morning. It's a pain sometimes when you're running late and you got things to do. And me, I make my bed every morning. Very seldom do I ever not make my bed, but I make my bed so that when at the end of the day, when I'm ready to go to sleep and I'm tired, the bed is straight and it looks nice and it's neat and it's welcoming. So when I'm ready to go to bed, it looks good. And it's the same way with cleaning up the site at the end of the day. It does different things. It shows when in the morning when you get there the next day, it's ready to go. You can start afresh. Start fresh with organized thoughts. And your employer and the contractor that you're working for, when they look at how you leave the job at the end of the day, it gets them to think of how professional you are. And we all want to look professional, I hope. If not, I guess me and you aren't associated. I would guess that I'm after that type of association. And the potential, now it shows your willingness to learn, to step up, and to take responsibility when things get tough. And boy, that's hard to be responsible sometimes, but it's the right thing to do. You know them. You know who they are, and you know who you are, and you've seen them on the job site. Ain't my job, man. I ain't doing that. I didn't make that mess. I didn't leave that board laying in the middle of the walkway. I ain't picking it up. I didn't drop that trash. I ain't picking it up. And then there's the other guy who will walk by and move the board out of the walkway, move the cords out of the walkway, pick up a piece of trash or a water bottle and throw it away. If I'm on a job site and I see a dude do that, or a lady, I'm like, keep an eye on them. That's what I'm after. That's what I need. That's what the contractor wants. That's what the employer wants. So be that person. All right. Step up and take responsibility, especially when things get tough. Every leader that you admire started as a worker who took pride in the basics and believed in their potential. Don't wait for someone to tell you you're capable. Prove it. Prove it through your actions. You know, pride keeps your standard high, and potential keeps your ceiling from ever being achieved. And that's the funny thing. I read a book one time. It was called Motorcycles. No, it was called Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. And the guy who wrote the book, he and his young son were taking a motorcycle trip. And he was just contemplating life as he went along. And one of the comments that he made was that quality, you never reach perfection. You can never reach perfection. This has to go back with the motivational thing about standards high, keeps your ceiling from ever being reached. And value and quality and perfection is always at the very cusp. You never can get to it. And here's why. Because as you get closer to your goal or that perfection, your thoughts about, because of your experience, your thoughts about perfection change. And the closer you get, the kind of further away it gets. And that's not a negative thing now. That's something that helps you stay focused, to keep your eye at the horizon, to move forward. You know, it's like the sailors of old before we circumnavigated the globe. They were afraid, some were afraid they were going to fall off the edge of the earth, and the bold ones just wanted to see what was beyond the horizon and kept going until eventually we circumnavigated the earth. But anyway, keep that in mind. Pride keeps your standards high, and potential keeps your ceiling from ever being reached. All right. Well, check in with me, send me a chat, let me know how you're going. Boy, I put my coffee up and I didn't even take a drink. I've been thinking about y'all tell me what you think. The logo in the background here, MCB Ventures with the skull in the background, not all the other stuff, just the background. I've been thinking about getting that put on coffee cups and hard hat stickers and things like that. And I'd like your thoughts on it. Let me know what you guys think about that. Should I generate some little marketing things so when I'm in the field, which reminds me, I may be in Amarillo in the next couple of weeks. But anyway, let me know what your thoughts are on that. The safety snapshot this week, covered it last week on the toolbox safety videos, pinch points and crush zones. And there's some of the most unforgiving hazards on any job site. A pinch point is anywhere your body can get caught between two moving or a moving and a fixed object. And some of those things would probably, in a crush zone is where equipment, loads, or materials can trap you with nowhere to go. This is one of the OSHA Focus 4, and it's part of the caught in / between that I've been, series of 4 videos I've got going at at the Toolbox Safety Topic video on my other channel. Anyway, some common examples. Let me get a dip. Some common examples might be equipment swing radiuses. Man, I've seen guys walk into a darn swing radius of an excavator, not even understanding what they're doing. And it scares the bejesus out of the operator. He's swinging around with a load, and all of a sudden, right there in the corner of his eye is a dude walking up on him. And to stop an excavator swing, that's quite a task, okay? So whenever you're coming into an operating excavator, stay outside the swing radius of that arm, and make sure you get the guy's attention. A lot of people walk up and throw something in front of the glass, a piece of debris, or they'll throw it in front of the windscreen in the front of the equipment. And an operator, a lot of times, will see even that. You could take a small stone and toss in front of him, and he'll go, whoa, and he'll stop, and he'll look. So, but, that way, the best way is to come in from the approach way off and hold up your hand or wave at him or make eye contact. And when you make eye contact, you can broadcast your attention. Say, I'm going on by, and he'll go, okay. Or you go, stop a minute, hang on. and he'll stop and you can approach the machine and communicate with him as you need to. But anyway, equipment, swing radiuses, and roll-off containers. Them guys, they get paid by the hour, and then a lot of them get paid by box count too. So they've got their route planned, and they've got to move on to the next one because, this contractor needs it done by 10 o'clock, and he says, well, if I'm there at that job site when they open up at 7, I can get that one, get it dumped, and be at the next one and make that next pickup in a timely fashion. He's working. He's wanting to make his clients happy, and he's wanting to make good living for his family. So he's concentrating on a lot of things, and every job site is different. So be wary when those roll-off containers come onto the job site. Make sure somebody catches him at the gate, knows where he's going. If somebody sees him, say, ho, ho, ho. Check him up, find out what he's there for, and get into motion and help that man get what he's after, make his job safe, timely, efficient, and by doing that, you will be a safe, timely, and efficient operation as well. Excavators and skid steers, boy, them little old skid steers. Now, we're talking about called in crush, pinch points, and crush points. I had a guy one time, I walked on the job site, and he was in that skid steer, and he was scooting around and moving 90 miles an hour, and he was operating near a leading edge of that thing and didn't have no bumpers on it. And I'm not going to call him out, and I'm not going to say what company he was with, but I said, hey, man, slow down. God, come on, man. It ain't that big a deal. You got this open trench. You got this leading edge over here. You got a 6-foot drop. Man, you could drive that thing off. And you got another guy here, and you're right on top of him, and you're bumping that thing around like a madman. Made mention in the notes about it. I bet I didn't get 50 miles down the road going to the next job site, and I got a phone call, and he had hit that other guy with that darn skid steer. It was a track skid steer, and broke his leg. I was like, God, dog it. So, man, y'all just slow down. It's going to be okay. Really. Steel placement and rigging, setting steel into place, lowering mechanical equipment, sitting in processing gear, any of that kind of stuff. When you're using rigging, that stuff's flying around. It looks like it's moving slow, but man, you might think you a he-man, but you're not going to stop that thing by putting your hands on it. Keep your hands off of everything. Make sure there's a tagline. You got a push pole. You got some other means of handling that stuff other than your hands. And then again, you've got doors, gates, and hydraulic components all around the job site. Stay clear of those things till you understand how they operate, and then move accordingly. Just don't rush into the fire. Still don't care how experienced you are, and equipment doesn't hesitate. Always keep body parts out of the line of fire. Maintain eye contact with operators. I was on a job site one time, taking down a mud drum on a power plant. It was an old power plant, and wasn't very big. It was one of the first jobs I was ever on as far as power plant goes. And they got that darn old mud. A mud drum is the very top of the boilers, and it collects all kinds of stuff, particulates from the boiler process, the burning of coal. It catches all kinds of particulates, and they're huge drums, and they're on top of the boiler. And over time, they get loaded up with that particulate matter. And I'm standing there looking at it, and I'm with one of the upper guys of the company I was working with, a very experienced man, and I'm watching there with him. I'm standing beside him. I'm trying to learn, and he backs up, bumps into me. He says, "Which way you going?" I said, "Whichever way I need to." He goes, "I just need to know which way you're going so I don't run you over when I got to get out of the way." All right. So leave yourself an out. Always know where you're going if something goes wrong. Never assume that ain't going to move. That's good. A hydraulics adrift, a lift or a crane, it might move an inch, it may drift. So never assume something won't move. And as a final reminder, if you can't fight it, don't stand next to it. All right, boys and girls. I did say I might be in Amarillo in a couple of weeks, didn't I? I got an opportunity. I'm sitting at the house last week, sitting right here at this desk doing something else. Excuse me. And the phone rings and says, "Hey, man, you interested in going this job?" And I told him I had something to do in February. And I said, "Well, I told you I had this thing to do." I said, "Let me call and figure it out, because you know how it is. Jobs move back, or sometimes they move forward, then catch you by your short hairs." But as expected, this one had been put back due to, when you're in the demolition business, there's niche apps and all kinds of clearances and processes when you're working with municipalities that you got to clear. And as was the case here, this one wasn't going to be ready to go for a while yet. So I called them back and said, yeah. So now, of course, I was supposed to leave this Friday, and they called me back and said it'd be next Friday or next Monday, the 26th or whatever it is. But anyway, I'm heading out to Amarillo. I'm going to pack up the studio because I do want to do this. And I think I'll be able to do this because it's in Amarillo and they're an hour behind. So a 5 o'clock broadcast would actually be 4 o'clock there. And even if they start at 6 in the morning, I'm not sure what their start times are or anything, I can still get this done. Maybe from a hotel room, but I'm going to do my best to be able to have the opportunity to be with you guys while I'm out there. It's who knows? They say it's one, it's one of those. Well, they say the schedule says 6 or 8 weeks, but we think we can get it done in 5 or 6 weeks. And I'm like, okay. We all know what that means, don't we? I'm going to be flexible and hope this other thing that I got going don't bump up against it. But anyway, I'm a little excited. I hadn't been to Amarillo in a long time. There used to be what was that truck stop called? I ain't been to Amarillo probably 30 years. Whoo, man, that's been a long time. Longer than that, 35 years since I've been to Amarillo. Back then, it was just a wide spotting road up there on I-40, I think it is. It was a Burns truck stop, old Burns truck stop. So I'm going to see if that thing's still there. I might get me a T-shirt and a hamburger. Anyway, let's talk about this week's job site challenge. It's 5:26 in the morning. Let me know where you're headed, guys. Send me a chat. Oh, look. Somebody popped in there. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. Give me a chat. Say hello. Anyway, job site challenge for this week. Job site challenge for this week is simple but powerful. Lead by example. Use performance instead of words. Don't tell people how to wear PPE. Wear it right yourself. Don't lecture about housekeeping. Pick up the hazard. Now, you can lecture while you're picking up the hazard, I've done that. Man, how many people walk past this daggum thing here? Anyway, don't lecture about housekeeping. Pick up the hazard. And don't talk about safety culture. Demonstrate it. People follow what they see, not what they're told. Lead by example. Leadership is visible. Leadership is consistent. And leadership is earned one action at a time. All right, we got 5:27 in the morning. Check in with me. Let me know where you're headed, where you're rolling to. Hey, here's one. Why did the construction worker bring a pencil to work? Because he wanted to draw a better conclusion. Thank you, Philiphoria. That's a good dad joke. I'll have to keep that one in mind. Why don't pinch points ever apologize? Because they're always caught in the middle. If you got a joke, man, help me out here. What's a foreman's favorite music? Heavy metal, but only with good control. All right. I once watched a guy yell about safety while standing in a crush zone with his hands in his pockets. Nobody listened. 5 minutes later, another guy quietly moved him out of the danger area and adjusted the barricades without saying a word. Guess who everyone followed the rest of the day? That's right. Lead by example. Leadership don't need volume. It needs credibility. And that is the truth. All right. Hey, I got a question not long ago. How, it says here, asking how to help new workers recognize pinch points faster. And it's pretty important. Walk the job with them. Just don't point. Explain why an area is dangerous. You know, you get guys that even in their 30s who've been playing video games in their mama's basement and finally having to get out and go to work because their success rate, their fortune didn't come from playing video games, and mom got tired of them being in a basement, so they're on a job site. They may not understand. They may have no earthly idea of why they're in a danger zone. But once people understand how something can hurt them, they stop forgetting. And that's one thing that I've learned over time. That's why I say that the, poo-poo and ha-ha all you want if you're a guy out there, but that PTP is the most important tool in the toolbox. When you describe the work that you're going to be doing for the day, what the task is, what the hazards are associated with that task, and how you can get hurt, and then how to mitigate those hazards, people start listening to that stuff because they understand that you're out there. And as a leader and as a supervisor, leader, foreman, when you perform the PTP, you eliminate a lot of questions that burn up productivity throughout the day. Hey, how am I supposed to do? You're answering that question in the first 5 minutes when everybody's together and you're going over that PTP, and they have a clear understanding of what the tasks are, what the hazards associated with that task are, and how to mitigate those hazards. So take the time and train your people and go over the job with them thoroughly before they start work. I had another comment. Most accidents happen when people rush. That's not an opinion. That's experience talking. That's right. Slow your mind down. We've had a couple examples this morning. People operating skid steers and people stepping into swing radiuses, and people are in a hurry. I had a safety director one time, and we talked about it. Most incidents, accidents, and injuries happen when people are working outside of the PTP. So make sure that as a leader, you do a pre-task plan, a short safety meeting, a gathering of the minds first thing in the morning, and it builds teamwork. Uh, I was in one back in December, and I told them that we have these meetings every morning because it's a conspiracy, and that a conspiracy actually means that we're breathing together, to respire together, to breathe together. And a guy came up to me afterwards, and he says, "I learned a new word today." He was Hispanic, and I said, "Really? What word is that?" He says, "Conspiracy." And I said, "Yeah, most people take that as a negative connotation." He goes, "Yeah." And he said, "When you said that today, I looked it up, and it just means being a team, breathing together." And I said, "That's right." And every time we have these meetings in the morning, that 5 minutes, that creates us breathing together, and we become a more productive and efficient workforce, and we have better camaraderie. All things are different, better. Anyway, it's still early in the morning. My old sinuses get me every morning. All right, it is 5:33. Good morning to you. Send me a text or chat here and let me know who you represent, where you're going, what trade you're in. I'm really interested. We get together every Monday morning at 5 a.m. And we talk about safety and we talk about leadership. I'm a safety professional. I had a conversation with a guy the other day, and the contract calls for them to have a safety professional. And we got through all the stuff and talked about my credentialing and all this stuff. And I said, just one thing to keep in mind. I said that I may be a safety guy, but I also understand that we're in this business to make money. So productivity is just as important. So I believe in doing our work safe, timely, and efficient. He goes, "Man," he says, "that is good to hear." I said, "Yeah, we're not out here to stop the job. We're here to keep the job moving and keep our guys safe." All right. Ooh, I can catch my breath. Rock and roll, buddy. This section of the show, I'd like to talk about tools and tricks of the trades. And staying organized is one of the biggest things you can do on a job site. So let's talk organization, because clutter causes injuries and delays. Here's some simple habits while on your job site. Keep walkways clear. Return tools to their place. Coil your cords and hoses properly. Don't leave them. If they're not being used, put them away. Don't stack materials where people work. I don't know about you guys, but when I was a young man, the ladies in my life, mother and aunts and all this, they always told me, everything has its place and everything should be in its place. So it's like your dishes or silverware. When you're done with them, put them back where they go. Just don't leave them in the floor, in the living room, under the bed. How many of you got caught putting stuff under your bed? Keep yourself clean and organized. And when I'm on a job site and I'm looking at the organization and the cleanliness of the job site, I'm automatically determining in my mind what their home life might look like. You can't tell me a guy who's sloppy on the job is not. You can't tell me that a guy who is sloppy and unorganized on the job site is organized and clean at home. You are who you are, no matter where you are at, and so anyway, organization, staying organized, improves safety it improves efficiency, and it improves morale. Everybody'd rather walk onto a clean job site instead of stumbling around over scrap piles and hoses and power cords and everything else. Now, listen, I spend a lot of time in the demolition business, and people say, well, it's a demo job. I said, yeah, I know it is. It's a demo job. I've been in it for 25 years. I know exactly what it is. But you can still have clear pathways through mountains of debris. I know that, and you know that too. So don't even try and play that with me. Let's get this job site organized and make it look good. Clear paths for equipment movement. Proper debris piles for loading out. Have your metal separated from your masonry and tenant trash and all that all separated out so that when the trucks roll in, they know which pile they're after and they go straight to it. So anyway, keep your job site clean and organized. It improves productivity and enhances safety. I had an uncle one time. He was a HVAC guy. He installed heating and air conditioning and that kind of stuff. And I was helping him one time. Well, I was probably in the way. You know how that is. Your kids want to be a part of. He was an uncle, and I wanted to be a part of it and just be with him and talk to him and all this. So we were working one day, and something was funny about something, and I said, well, the darn thing. And he says, hold on a minute. A poor craftsman always blames his tools. And over the years, that stuck with me. The best tradesmen adapt, prepare, and take responsibility. Now, tools do matter, but skill, mindset, and pride matter even more. So keep that one in mind as you're going through your day there, and watch how people treat their tools and equipment, and it'll give you a good idea of their overall mindset. Anywho, we got about 10 minutes here. Check in with me and let me know where you headed this morning, what trade you're representing. You riding in solo on the long ride in, or are you stopping by and picking up the guys at the shop? Man, them old supervisors out there, some of them, they work like diggity dogs. Get up in the morning, and then they might have to pick up a couple guys and then swing by the shop and pick up some tools and material, and then the guys are saying, hey, can we stop and get a cup of coffee? He's wheeling in the quick trip, and he's trying to keep his thoughts organized, and then they get on the road and headed to the job site, and all his buddies is back there in the back seat sleeping while he's still driving and concentrating. And then he gets to the job site, and he's got to do his paperwork and get everything organized and ready to talk to the guys. And whoo, boy, I tell you what, you got to be a heck of a man to be a supervisor. So you foremen out there, and you guys out there, it's just tradesmen, give them guys a little respect. They got a lot to do, and admire them and copy them, because guess what? We're all looking for our replacements. I know when I was in the field, and even today, when I go on the job site, I'm not there trying to protect some kind of position. I'm there to lead guys and find guys who can take my place. I'm looking for the guy who is hungry, who wants to do something for himself. And because the more like-minded people I'm surrounded by, the more I can get done by leading men. It's just like some of you veterans out there, you know the routine, the chain of command. And, a PFC, he's got to take his training, his classes. Some of them do. They're really wanting to move ahead. They'll take leadership classes. They'll take different training because they want to be something above the rest. And the other ones are just in there, never get above PFC. And, you know, they're there doing whatever somebody tells them to do. And then when they get their days off, you know, chasing women and drink beer. Ain't nothing wrong with chasing women and drinking beer now. Don't get me wrong. I done plenty of that as a young man. But if you're not spending some of your free time improving yourself, then you're just going to be stuck right where you are. So get out there and make an effort every day. Improve yourself, help others improve, and keep this big ball of wax we call life rolling forward. Anyway, it's 5:43. What does that mean? I got 17 minutes left. Oh, man, I need to stretch, too. If you watch this, let me know what you think about this background. Once again, this thing right here is just a tribute to Bob Weir of the Grateful Dead. Further, Fish, a couple other bands, but mostly Wolf Brothers, but he's mostly known for his membership in the Grateful Dead. Him and Jerry Garcia, Phil Lesh, and the others. They were a great. They call them electrified folk music band, and but they influenced me a lot as I was coming up through the years. Probably been on the bus since, late 80s, early 90s. Anyway, I'm on the bus. They had a real positive influence, and if you go and listen to some of their music, you'll see why they might have some positive influences on some of us in the world. All right, let me get a sip of this coffee. Woo. I'm about out of breath. You know, I wish somebody call in and ask me a question or something. It's, keep talking and filling space for a solid hour. That's quite a task. Let me get a sip of this coffee. All right. Let's see. We've talked about leadership. It's cold this morning. What's the temperature out there? Anybody know right now where I'm at? I think it's 20 degrees. 22 degrees. I'm in the very northeast corner of the marvelous state of Georgia. Georgia, I've been all over the country, and there's no more beautiful place than where I'm at right now. I've been coming here since I was a freshman in high school. And I used to spend a lot of time down on the Georgia coast. My father's mother's family is from down around Glenn County, Brunswick, St. Simons, down in that area. And we spent years, every year during my childhood, going down to visit his family down there. And I love it down there as well. But I've always, since I first came here in the mountains of northeast Georgia, camping and fishing in the mid-70s, this place has always pulled me. And a few years ago, 8 or 10 years ago, I had the opportunity to break away from the monster of Atlanta and those surrounding areas, the traffic and the craziness that goes on. And I broke out, and now I'm here in the most beautiful place, in my mind, in the entire world. And I've tried to be a Georgia boy. The politics sometimes and the taxes and all that stuff sometimes makes me want to bail out and go to Tennessee, Eastern Kentucky, somewhere like that. But right here in Appalachia, that's my spirit. That's my soul. And hopefully I'm getting kind of long in the tooth to be thinking about moving, but I've always decided I wanted to stay in Georgia. Anyway, I guess we're moving along to the next section. It is 547. It is the 12th day of January in 2026. And here we are talking about pride and potential. And this is your pride and your potential, not mine. Taking pride in what you do and how well you do it. And through taking pride in your work and how you do it, it increases your potential to advance. I don't care what endeavor you're involved in. You could be a first day wheelbarrow pusher. If you take pride in pushing a wheelbarrow, before you know it, you'll be taking pride in laying out work. And before you know it, you'll take pride in being a foreman. And before you know it, you could be taking pride in being a supervisor, or you could decide that you can just do a better job than anybody else. And with hard work and saving your money, you can step out and have your own business. How do I know? I've seen lots of young men who move through life with me, and a lot of men my age now who did that, who did just that. And now they're business owners, and I'm proud to be associated with them, and they will call me from time to time. And, and we support one another. We give each other motivation, send Christmas cards, of course. And there's always opportunity for when like-minded people get together and continually support and promote one another. Like-mindedness goes both ways. It goes down the success trail or it goes down the destruction trail. And the jailhouse is full of those kind of people who travel the road to destruction. And also that jailhouse sometimes is a place where people learn valuable lessons, and they come out with a different approach to life. So I don't discount the Bubbas who've been in the old pokey. I got just as much confidence in them as anybody, but it's their attitude. Are they behaving? They don't need to broadcast what they do. If they're moving in the direction, if they're showing that by their actions, their pride, I know they have potential. And I'm going to be the guy who's keying on that potential, giving them more and more opportunities. And sometimes we reach a pinnacle where we want to be, and sometimes we never do. We're always striving for more and more. Anywho, hang on a minute. Gotta find out. I had to hit the cough button for a minute. Boy, my sinuses is full. All right, moving along. 5:50 in the morning on Monday, 12 January, 2026. This week on the other channel, which is right. This channel right here. This one. Yeah, this one right there. Toolbox Safety Topic Videos. There's the YouTube channel, but this week on the channel, that's this week on MCB Ventures, that's Middleclassbubba Ventures, we're going to be covering trenching and excavation, and that's the second caught in or between section of the OSHA Focus 4. We've been at that for, 10 weeks now. And I think we got one more section. I got the cut sheet right here. Look at that. Y'all thought I was just disorganized. Oh, yeah. We got this week trenching and excavations, followed up by machinery and guards, and the human element, all in the caught in between of the OSHA Focus 4. And then after that, we'll be moving on to electrocutions. If there's a particular section of the OSHA 10 or OSHA 30 that you guys would like me to concentrate on, you might be a dirt mover, you might be a demolition guy, you might be an electrician, or you might be a company owner. If there's something particular you'd like to see a series on so that you can get your guys some these toolbox safety meetings now, if they're documented and everybody signs off on them, they fit the criteria demanded by the OSHA standard that you give your men regular continuous training on the safety. So that's the purpose of these training videos, so that and I always put the script in the description on these videos, so you can copy and paste and print it out and have a written copy to attach. You can use my format. You can take it and print those out and give your toolbox safety topic meetings with them. You can do any kind of training you want with it. I don't care. You can use the videos. You can say, hey, let's watch this video, and you can be on a job site with 3 or 4 guys, and you can watch a short. Some job sites got TVs. You could put the YouTube channel on that and turn it on and have everybody sign a sign-in sheet and document what they watched. And these videos are a permanent record on the YouTube channel. I think I got, a couple hundred out there. Some of them are when I first started, and some of them are when I've just recently, and you can see whether I've gotten better or gotten worse at presentation. That's that's your call. I think I'm getting better, but you know how that is. Anyway, on this week on MCB Ventures, we're covering trenching and excavations. Cave in don't give a warning. It sure don't. And soil doesn't care how confident you feel. Had a guy several years ago. They had done some trenching. He ran in and checked. He's going to run in and check on one thing. Take a measurement or something. And it collapsed on him. Suffocated. Buried him up. Couldn't get to him in time, and he just crushed him. Soil don't care how confident you feel. But in the video, we'll break down hazards, protective systems, and simple steps to keep people alive. And here we are in the last 5 minutes. This is where we do our gratitude and sign off. I'm grateful for you guys getting up this time of the morning, getting out there, getting after it, on your way, getting up. You're out there, you're whatever trade you're in, man, you guys are doing it. You're making this world better through your efforts. You're building or rebuilding America all the time. That is one of the greatest things about this country, that we're always changing. We're always building. We're always rebuilding to make it better. And it's that pride that you take to work with you every day, and your pride in your work, I'm grateful for all you men and women who take pride in their work and believe in your potential. Probably 90% of the business activity in this country is small businesses. That means everybody's got the opportunity. Everybody has the potential. All you have to do is show up with purpose. Show up with purpose. Lead with action. And go home safe. Help keep your coworker safe and yourself safe. And go home safe every day. So remember, perform our work in a safe, timely, and efficient way. And the one thing I always say, and the one thing I always mean, is have a grateful day, have a grateful week, and we'll see you next time. I'm Bubba, and I'm out.
They say a man leaves when the breath goes quiet, but some voices never learn how to do that. Some voices just step back from the mic and let the crowd carry the song. Bob never told us where to go. He just showed us how to walk. Loose hands on the strings, eyes on the horizon, smiling like he knew there was no wrong turn if you stayed kind. Forever grateful, forever free. You left the road, but you stayed with me. I learned time doesn't move in straight lines. Standing in a field full of strangers who somehow felt like family. No tickets to heaven, no backstage pass to truth. Just a rhythm, a chorus, and a chance to let go of whatever weighed you down that day. Bob sang like he trusted the song to land where it needed to. No